I have a question. Isn't it a contract that were made with the American people about our income taxes? By the way, I've gotten so much more money out of Social Security. I'm going to be 86. I beat the charts. I've gotten so much. I've gotten more than my share. We all know one thing. Times change.
Get ready, because you're about to watch Senator Elizabeth Warren, Lion Liz, face off against a major billionaire, in fact, a co-founder of Home Depot, on the Squawk Box. That's what they call it. So, folks, I think you're going to enjoy it. It's pretty interesting. We're going to get right into it. But first, do me a big favor, like our video and share it around. That way we can keep bringing you guys this great, hard-hitting content. As always, Patriots, I'm your host, Arian, and this is Resist the Mainstream.
Senator, I have an easy one for you, and you're going to be shocked that I'm bringing it up from a fat cat Wall Street guy. How do you rationalize giving me $3,000 a month check every month with all my wealth? Why don't you people have the courage to address entitlements as to what should no longer be an entitlement? I shouldn't get Social Security. Second thing, I pay a minimum alternative tax. I pay a tax no matter what my deductions. I owe the government so much money. Why don't corporations have a minimum tax? Third, what about the carried interest? Why not address that? These are home runs in terms of right versus wrong, in my opinion. I'll give you one example. This is shocking. Take all the corporate taxes paid in America last year as told by the government, what they got in. Home Depot paid 1% of all those taxes. One company that didn't exist 42 years ago. We take good care of our associates. Our vendors love dealing with us. It's profitable. We give back to our community. And by the way, our shareholders have compounded at 27% a year from the day we went public 40 years ago. Everybody has done well, and we've paid full taxes. Why don't you address these? These are slam dunks, Senator. Tell me why I should get a check, and my wife gets another $1,000 on top of that. Take it away from me. Have the courage to do it. I know it's the third rail of politics, but do it.
So let's start with the wealth tax. That's where we were.
You don't want to address the issue. You don't want to address the issue of how I'm getting $4,000 a month from the government, and I shouldn't be getting it.
Can I answer some of these questions?
Sure, please.
All right.
And get ready for the politician's response, featuring Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren.
And I just want to thank you, because you're very, very special people. You were here long before any of us were here. Although we have a representative in Congress who they say was here a long time ago. They call her Pocahontas. But you know what? I like you.
Thank you. So I'll start with the first one, and that was the question about the wealth tax. Remember, let's look at someone like Jeff Bezos, who is worth $1 bazillion. He has not paid taxes on all of that wealth. Don't describe it that way. In fact, Jeff Bezos, many years, has either paid nothing in taxes or he's paid about 1%. Why? Because his income is very, very small. But he continues to grow his wealth through all of his Amazon stock. And how does he then fund a lifestyle like he does? Not by cashing in Amazon stock, but by borrowing against it. Right now, we have a tax system, because it focuses principally on wealth, that actually doesn't capture the folks at the very top. It makes middle-class folks pay, it makes working-class folks pay, but it doesn't make those at the top pay. A wealth tax is an opportunity to say, if you're at the very, very top, you have to make a contribution too.
Man, she really puts the squawk in Squawk Box. That grating teacher voice is so annoying, the whole routine. And it goes that little by little, so condescending and irritating. As for the substance of what she's saying, wealth tax is crazy. Okay, you're talking about taxing Americans off of assets when they've already, paid income tax, you pay sales tax, all this other stuff, property tax. You're just adding on another thing, insult to injury. And make no mistake, it's not going to stop at Jeff Bezos. Biden didn't hire over 85,000 IRS workers, new ones, because you want to just go after Jeff Bezos. Okay, that's just a load of nonsense. I was going to say something worse, but we'll stick with nonsense. No, they are going to go after regular working people and tax them so much more. That's their plan. It's sick and it's disgusting.
You also ask why we don't have a minimum tax for corporations. Actually, I've proposed something very much like that. It's called a real corporate profits tax. And it says that the amount of tax that giant corporations have to pay, that is, corporations that made more than $100 million in profits last year, that those corporations should have to pay a tax on what they report, not on what happens after they've done a zillion loopholes and excuses and not paid their underlying taxes. That would be another way that we could pay for universal child care and roads and bridges. And you ask about Social Security. I think Social Security really is the thing that is structured differently. It's structured as an insurance policy, and you paid in year after year after year, and part of the contract was if you would pay in, you would get this kind of return on the back end. It's not somebody's welfare. It's not somebody's charity. It was an agreement that every employee in the country who is eligible for Social Security paid into and gets a return at the back end. Surely you wouldn't want to be the person who would go on national TV and say, after a contract has been negotiated and someone has paid into it for 40 years, that the federal government should turn around and say, oops, we changed our mind. We're not going to give you the payout that you earned by making those payments all those years.
For what it's worth, I actually do agree with Pocahontas on Social Security. At the end of the day, I think it's a scam. I hate it. I think we shouldn't even be forced to pay into it. We should be able to opt out. So, yeah, you're damn right. I better get that back. I don't care how rich I get. Honestly, I would take it back in a heartbeat. And I especially agree with Pocahontas over here on corporations like Amazon. Okay, Amazon pays zero in federal taxes. Okay, that's wrong. I hate that. This company has better logistics than the United States government. I want you to think about that for a second. Okay, that is an extremely powerful monopoly. They should not be paying no taxes when a small mom and pop shop across the street gets absolutely reamed by the federal government for tax money. That's outrageous. Okay, that is totally wrong. But at the end of the day, that's who we should be going after, not Americans who have stocks. And yes, pretty much all working Americans have stocks. It's called a 401k, because that's exactly what a wealth tax will target. And if it doesn't initially, it will over time, because the slippery slope is not a fallacy when it comes to Democrats.
Senator, I have a question. Isn't it a contract that were made with the American people about our income taxes? By the way, I've gotten so much more money out of Social Security. I'm going to be 86. I beat the charts. I've gotten so much. I've gotten more than my share. We all know one thing. Times change. Times change. My government told me, you pay your taxes, and what's left is yours to do what you want with. You're telling me you want to change it now. You're saying, oh, by the way, we did get your money out of your earnings, but now we want more out of your assets.
Well, what did you guys think? I thought that was interesting. You know, Pocahontas is quite rude and insufferable, but she actually, in my opinion, did make some good points. I know, it's a painful thing for me to say. I don't like saying it, that I'm agreeing with Pocahontas, but I did agree with some of it and did not agree with also a lot of it, of course. Even a broken clock can be right twice a day. With all that being said, everybody, thank you for tuning in. We truly appreciate it. As always, make sure you subscribe, all right, if you haven't already. We really want those views. And comment, let us know what you liked, what kind of stuff you want to see in the future, and we'll see what we can do. Thanks for tuning in, and God bless.